People are doing a survey around the country on the way population handles themselves and speaks and deals with their friends.
Okay, so boom, bro.
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
My generation.
Your generation. So
We're
what is
talking-
Gen Z exactly?
Gen Z is like...
Because all I think about Gen Z is young. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what...
I think it's... I'm pretty sure it's like 98 or like 97 to like 2004 or something. That whole age group of kids, my age group, I was born 2002.
So not 91.
Not 91.
I didn't
not
make
thousands kids, not like 90s kids.
Right. So you're Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
You're considered Gen Z, and I'm whatever the.
You're the
obsolete
previous. I
ass
think
one.
you're Gen Y?
Gen Y.
Something
Probably.
like that.
Probably.
Oh no, Gen X, huh?
Gen
That's
X,
what
alright.
it is. Anyways, Gen Z. I'm talking about my age group, the younger
Your
generation, my peoples. I have some interesting takes on like how we're growing up. I mean, I came up through the general education system here in America for the most part. I'm
Public
sure you
school.
did too, public school.
Public school.
And I also did school in Australia, and I can tell you that the way that we are educated as Americans is very different from how education works everywhere else. And I think that people in America are generally less educated across the board and get more educated about a few things, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But I think that we are not as informed as we should be going into adulthood as other places. Like, before I moved out of my house, I had no idea how to do taxes.
Which is ridiculous.
I had no idea how to file taxes. I had no idea how to apply for a job. I had no idea, because all my jobs had been like, oh, I'd pick up a construction job. I'd roll up and like be like, hey, can I work on your roofing crew real fast? Get paid in cash. Outski, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I never knew any of that stuff. And
You think that that's unique to Gen Z?
I think that is more unique to Gen Z, because right now we have stupid things like Common Core going in and like substituting different educational reform, and it's really not helping anything. We either need to decide on a curriculum, or we need to like completely change the way that we educate ourselves now, because we are not getting any useful information.
So you think Gen Z, the public education system is failing y'all?
Yo, I'm gonna stop skirting around it. I'm just gonna say it. I think that there's a lot of dumb kids my age. Gen Z, I think there's a lot of really stupid people in my generation. Honestly, because we grew up in the age where we turned the most towards television and the most towards digital entertainment. And I know, as far as from an addiction standpoint, like we talked about earlier, I was addicted to watching movies and TV.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even think how many hours of TV and YouTube and movies and Netflix and Hulu
Just sheer
I've
amount
watched.
of time
There's
that
just
could have
the-
been dedicated to
Anything
something
else. Anything else.
Literally anything else. Now, all that creativity and all that time
is me sitting on the couch.
Is you sitting on the couch.
And that's what really hit our generation the hardest, because if you remember, that's when like cereal commercials got huge, and like public TV, like Cubo, Cartoon Network, all that growing up as a kid. And then you move on to like subscription services where you can binge shows. There's no ads. You can just sit and watch hours on hours.
And culturally, it's like
it's acceptable.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go with it, right? Is because when I was a kid, you were kind of a weirdo if you just like
Sat on the
bragged
TV.
about, oh, I went through 14 hours in one day.
Yeah, like
of
that's
this
unhealthy,
show.
bro.
Right. It's just
Yeah.
it's just like a little weird.
And for you would have been like, oh, that's weird. But like my generation, I'm sure the next generation, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, let me marathon it with you, you know?
Yeah, totally normal.
Like, think about it. Sometimes you make plans to watch a movie, or you make plans to do a movie marathon where you watch a few movies back to back, and that's like the plan. The plan is to sit and eat junk food on a couch, bro. That's so bad for you.
So I get what you're saying earlier about you think that Gen Z is dumb, but I'm actually going to throw you guys a bone. All right, I'm going to throw Gen Z a bone. And this is why. When I was a kid, right, I honestly think we weren't any less or more dumb than you guys. In fact, I think that we were a little dumber than you guys, because at least you guys were raised from the time that you guys were little with the age of information. You guys had the internet
At your fingertips.
At your fingertips. So with that being said, at least you had the tool to gain knowledge. Now, what you did with that was up to you, right? But at least you guys were introduced to more methods of getting the information than us. Whereas, like, we're literally at the whim of our public school, or we're at the mercy of just our environment.
And that's why I would say that, like, people in America tend to be more educated about certain things, but I think that's because you don't focus at all at public school, and then you get at home and you research the things that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't tell you a thing about calculus, but I can tell you exactly how much a paramotor costs and how much a paraglider is and how to set up a paramotor setup so that you can fly somewhere.
I get what you're saying. Like, we're becoming specialized. Yeah. Right? Like, we're specialists at very key things that probably don't even matter that much in the grand scheme of, like, farming and, you know, carpentry and stuff like that. Yeah. My take on Gen Z is this, right? I think that from a young age, everything was very dishonest. And I don't know if it was because the parents never sat down and said, like, you sucked at basketball or you were ugly.
Everyone gets a trophy.
Everyone is equally as beautiful. Everyone is equally as good as everything. You, instead of looking at the cards that you were dealt in life and be like, hey, you're going to be pretty good at this, or you're going to be hard. It's going to be harder for you to do this. And these are the realities of the world. The world needs to be tailored to your feelings. And I think that now people in this generation, but I'm not even going to say in this generation, because now it's everybody, because social media kind of blurred the lines between generations. Dude, I've met 40-year-olds that literally sound like they're in high school. So I'm not even going to say Gen Z anymore, because now it's all just become one thing.
It's like across the board internet pop culture.
Right. So where I'm going with this is that I think that a lot of people nowadays, they don't have the proper skills to manage adversity and criticism. I think right now in this day and age, because there was such an emphasis on not saying mean things, you went through life thinking a certain thing about you, and then so when you get older and out into the real world and somebody says something, you want them to be shut up. You want their opinions to be dampened, and in some cases you even want their freedom of speech to be taken away completely, because you don't find it conducive to who you are.
Exactly.
A personal attack.
And that's like the thing with, like, beating around the bush. Everyone nowadays will not get straight to the point. Everyone nowadays will not say what they're thinking. The biggest thing that we need to do is get over that. People do get butthurt and we do have conflict, but that's how we progress. If there's no conflict and we're always just trying to dodge it, no change, no real change is going to be made, and no progression is going to be made.
For instance, right? If you smelled like shit, you were in my house and you smelled like shit,
and you just didn't say anything.
I just let you smell like shit.
Just let me smell like absolute dog shit.
And then somebody else, in this case scenario, they're like, oh my God, he doesn't smell bad. That's just his personal smell.
That's just his musk.
Or your this is his musk. Or it's not he smells bad. Your nose is just racist, or your nose is just part of the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Generally in this room, we can agree you smell bad. So instead of me making excuses for you, let's just say, hey, you stink.
You want some cologne. You want some deodorant.
Let's get a shower.
Let's get a shower on.
You want a nice bath? I'll drop a bubble bath.
Same thing with, like, in your teeth. Me and the homies, I was like, we got to lay this down. If there's anything in my teeth, please say something. Say something. And I'm just going to let you know, it's not coming from a rude place, but I will let you know when you got something in your teeth or something in your beard or something in your hair, bro. You have to. Yeah, exactly.
It's like this too, you know? If somebody's like, you know, and this for me is personal because I have family members that have health issues because of their weight, right? In today's society,
you can't talk about them being fat.
If you say that somebody is fat, right? And even if they're having health complications, you're the bad guy for saying hey, buddy, like, you know, do you want to go out running because you're looking a little big? And maybe they're fine, but maybe they're not.
They're probably not. I'm going to be real. I know plenty of people that struggle with obesity and have those problems. And what it is, honestly, the reason that there's that there's like a misconnect almost between, like, calling someone fat is like a bad word to use now. I say overweight or obese for the most part.
You don't have to be rude. Just because you're honest.
But people should be more straight up with people about their weight. Be like, hey, man,
Yeah.
This is not coming from like I'm trying to tear you down. This is like I love you and I want you to be healthy. I don't want you to be too big. You know what I'm saying?
And also like think about this too, right? I think this is the big part about this generation too. And actually, I'm not just gonna say this generation. It is, but it isn't. People, this is a very dangerous thing. This generation, this new age, people are obsessed with being liked.
That's true.
They are obsessed, and this is why being liked is dangerous. You can abandon your morals, you can abandon your logic, you can abandon your own creativity,
everything,
all for the sake of being liked.
Exactly.
To get a thumbs up and a heart.
I cannot agree with you enough. I remember for a long time I was like that, dude. I was like, my social media is me. Yes. If I'm not getting these likes, if I'm not getting these comments, who am I? Like, I was just being the most basic, general person to try and rack up those stupid likes, posting like Visco type stuff on my profile. I just need to realize, and I just need to wake up from that fact and be like, hey, I'm me. Post what I want, follow who I want, like whose posts I want, do whatever. It's me. It's not you. It's not me trying to appeal to you. I should be trying to be my own person.
For instance, I hear you 100%, because for instance, right, when we got those mean comments on Ugly Girl Addict, right?
Yeah.
My initial thought personally, right, it didn't make me feel good that I hurt somebody's feelings, right? I got that it was controversial, but I didn't enjoy hurting somebody's feelings, especially women, because that would make me an actual misogynist. So with that being said, right, am I going to sit back and be like, oh no, I can never say that again, or abandon my thought process altogether? I'm still going to base my truth based on my experiences. I'm not saying the truth. I'm saying my truth. If you're obsessed with being liked, you will literally abandon your truth. You will abandon yourself to be a jester to jesters. That's why you have people freaking dancing around or whatever for other people. Like they might not have even, for instance, right? I'm going to use this, say in an alternate universe, right? A parallel universe. Say if people knew that if they posted their butt on social media, that they were going to get thousands of likes without very to little repercussions. Like no one's going to be like, oh, that's gross, get that out of here, right? Again, an alternate universe where if you posted your butt on social media,
if you showed them the cheeks,
you know,
and you just get those likes, rack up followers from the cheeks.
And then so what happens is somebody else comes along and is like, oh, that's how I get accepted in society. I need to show my butt.
Yeah.
And then so now that is how we get, and now, again, a parallel universe. But now think about how many people, instead of spending time to become things that are actually viable to society,
doctors, lawyers, businessmen, etc., they're just out here posting pictures of their butt on Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat, whatever it is.
Parallel universe, but just saying, right?
Parallel
that
social
being
media.
Liked could really can really change a society, because now everything is just catered to that, because the fear of being disliked, right?
Exactly. And I used to be like that. I mean, before I started really trying to work on me and trying to improve myself, I had like a need to be liked by people. I would never say anything that would ever hurt anyone's feelings. I said bland blanket statements.
You weren't being yourself.
I was not being who I was.
Yeah.
You know, and it causes some personal friction. And I think that's why we have a lot of some weird vibes going on here in 2020, because everyone's holding some shit way down deep. Yeah. You're bottling that up. Doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy. You got some shit deep down that you're not talking to anyone about. You don't think you can talk to anyone about. You can't be like sending people long ass text messages or DMs about that because you're worried about it. Your true feelings getting screenshotted and shared.
And I think that's why simp culture is on the rise.
That is why simp culture is on the rise. Holy
I thought about this, right? For instance, the M word, misogyny, is being thrown around like never before. You get an M. You get an M. If you are a guy and you say something that the opposite sex doesn't like, because you have been faced with this, now you have to turn the other direction into Simpville, where you're just kind of like, I don't want to be not liked. I don't want to be labeled. So now you know, and it's a tempting, it's low hanging fruit. It's so tempting.
So before we should go any farther, we should probably define exactly what it is to be a simp. We don't have, actually we might have Urban Dictionary.
I don't think it's set in stone. I think it's like Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, it might be an Urban Dictionary definition. But
what do you think a simp is?
So I think a real true simp, I think there's two kinds of simps, all right? Hear me out. I think that the real truest simp is the guy that takes a girl out to a $500 dinner and she never gets anything back. Basically a sugar daddy. Like, you're buying them stuff all the time. Okay. They're never putting any effort back into the relationship. You're never getting anything in return.
Okay.
They're just hanging out with you because you pamper them.
Okay.
That's, in my eyes, a simp. Or like someone that will bend down for anything to a girl. Like the homegirl, you guys are not even official. You guys are not even a thing. You guys just hang out sometimes. And she's like, yo, can I borrow your car for the weekend?
Right.
And you say yes.
Right.
Come on.
Just ditching. And I'm glad that you defined that, right? Because that sounds a lot like what people are doing to themselves for likes. Like, people are simps for likes.
Exactly.
So a guy will destroy his point of view, his morals, his own opinions of the world.
He might have liked fishing, but next day you catch him skating. Man's just because he's trying to get that Thrasher hype, that skateboard hype.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I skate because I wanted to start skating, and ever since I was a kid, I wanted to skate. But I don't post anything about it because I don't want to come off as like a poser, because I just started skating. My parents never let me skate because they're like, oh, that's where all the bad kids go, or like skaters are like druggies, or like, but they're really not. And I've really enjoyed skateboarding, but I'm just afraid of getting called out as a poser if I start posting any. And I do enjoy taking videos and watching my skate tricks.
Yeah, just freaking expressing yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But people are getting to the point where they just scroll through social media and they're like, oh, that looks cool. I'm just going to do that, try and get some more likes. Like the puka shells, the hydro flasks. We know that basic stuff we saw from TikTok. TikTok was a mainstream one. People started doing TikTok dances, all that, to get likes and features.
And another thing that's really toxic about like TikTok culture, like culture, simp culture, is that people will literally go on the internet and say some BS just because they know that it's agreeable, even if they don't believe it.
Even if they're not with it.
And that's what pisses me off the most.
They'll hop on there and be like, all women are beautiful. I'm sorry, not all women are beautiful to me. I'm not attracted to every single woman that I see. I'm attracted to a certain group, a certain subgenre of women that I see.
All men are trash.
All men are trash.
You know how many likes that's going to get?
I better get so many likes.
That's going to be
all you women out there, you'd better like all men are trash right now.
Actually, that's probably going to be our next one, actually.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Most def.
I think another part about simp culture, misogyny, is that because it's so polarized now, there's not really a lot of middle ground for just normal guys to live, right? For instance, say that I'm a little bit of a quote-unquote douchebag because I like a certain look of a female, right? And that's my decision, right? But then I also treat her like a queen.
Yeah.
I will have on one side people saying you're misogynist because you
date
based your
that
love
girl.
and you all you care about is her appearance and you didn't give the other 7
And on the other end, your homies are like, yo, why you simping for the girl? You know what I'm saying?
So where is the middle ground?
Where is that middle ground? And that's the thing. People think nowadays that middle ground is to settle for like a girl that you're not really that into, but she's like, you kind of like her, but like all the homies really like her, and you're not seen as a simp when you're with her. She handles her own things. But honestly, this is love we're talking about, or dating when we were talking about. You should be chasing your wildest aspirations. Give everything a go. Get shut down sometimes, win sometimes.
It's life. I don't know what's so hard. I don't know what's so hard about somebody just being them. Like, I know that this is a mind-blowing thought, but not everyone is a simp or a misogynist or a bigot
and
or
you know
a
what?
racist.
I think this comes from like being in the information age. I mean, we are too far into each other's business. Have you ever stalked someone's profile? Be real honest right now.
1,000%.
Thousands?
1,000%.
Thousands, bro. I have definitely stalked at least 20 profiles of girls that I was like, oh, she seems real cute. Who does she hang out with? Where does she go? All right, cool. I'll DM her.
Yeah.
That's like standard practice nowadays. And I know, ladies, I know that you don't want to say it, but you're worse than us. You be stalking my pictures all the way back to childhood, all the way back to the beginning of my timeline.
How do you know my grandmother's residential address?
Exactly. What's next? My social? Like, come on.
I heard you like candles.
I heard you like candles.
How'd you know?
Oh, no. Podcast. Crazy stuff, dude. I haven't posted like a video of me skating since I started skating my senior year of high school, and I archived the post even way back when. And out of the blue, a month ago, some girl was like, yo, so you skate? I was like, what? I don't have any skate stuff on any of my profiles. I was like, what? And this girl I did not know. I was like, I started skating, but like, how did you know that? She's like, oh, I saw that rail vid that you posted.
But it's so normal,
and I was like, how did you see that? Like,
but now it's so normal,
yeah, it's just like a regular thing. I was like, what? Yeah. Blew my mind.
I think you brought up a super big point, right? A lot of people today, I think people are just bored and they're looking for things to complain about.
Yo,
it's like we're living in a house. Actually, this is apropos. It's as if the world's on lockdown and we're just kind of looking at the other people in the room like what can I do to talk shit about you today?
Yeah, for real. And you know what that is though? It's when you have those days where you're sitting on the couch on your phone. Yeah. Everyone's had them. You have an hour or two where you just chill on the couch. I feel like that zone out time that's so addictive that we just need for some reason is what's causing all these problems. Yeah. That hour or two that you're on Instagram, you're like looking at all your friends doing some crazy awesome stuff that's probably not even true, that's been filtered, that's been taken into an angle. You create
the narrative.
You in your own mind, you imagine, oh, they're so much happier than me. They're doing so many more cool things than me. Like
causing so much. And I think that's what's causing so much depression.
Yeah,
and
from
anxiety.
The social media. That's probably, I would say, most likely the root cause. I mean, there's been plenty of research on it, I'm sure. But
hear me out. I think that social media is going to be our generation's smoking epidemic. And what I mean by that is, remember when back in the day anybody could smoke? Yeah. And you could smoke anywhere?
Yes.
And do whatever you wanted.
Now you can
with
social
cigarettes.
Media anywhere, and everyone has social media.
Well, more importantly, there's no age regulation to social media.
That's true.
And I'm telling you right now why that's dangerous is because say that you said some off-the-wall racist shit when you were 13 years old, and this is far from a hypothetical situation. It's happened thousands of times, if not hundreds of thousands
and
of times.
And then come 20, you get denied a job.
Or you go to jail for the rest of your life, like the kids who prank called Candace Owen.
Oh, no way.
And because your frontal lobe isn't even developed.
Yeah, when you're a preteen, you're still going through puberty, dude. Your body isn't even developed.
This whole generation that grew, I didn't grow up with social media, right? I didn't even have handheld internet until I got my freaking PSP, and I was a senior in high school. So what I'm saying is, I bet if you were to do brain scans of kids when they were 18 or 17 when they in like 1992 versus 17-year-olds now, I feel like you're gonna see some really crazy things because you're introduced into this thing that I don't think is good for humans at such a young age.
Well, the thing is, it's not even that it's a young age. There's just too much. Like, realistically, you should be getting on Instagram, Facebook once a day for 15 to 30 minutes, and you should be checking on your closest friends and see how they're doing. Maybe send a comment, maybe send a DM. That's it. Yeah. Your real immediate communication should be what's built into your phone. If you want to talk to people, you should be texting them or calling them. Yeah. But nowadays, because of the hype of social media, all the communication is done via Snapchat or Instagram. I can't tell you how many times I've used Snapchat to call or like text people and meet up with them. And it's caused problems because of how Snap is with the loading and being in good data reception. Whereas if I'd have just called them, could have just rolled up and we could have just picked them up. But no, there's like the lag on Snapchat where people forget to open their snaps or they lag you on purpose, which is so annoying.
So annoying.
Yeah.
I think Yeah, I think we're gonna come to a point where they're like, listen, we've looked at the data, we looked at the spikes of anxiety and depression,
And we should stop.
and you're gonna have to be, in order to actually create these accounts, you're gonna have to be 18, because at least your frontal lobe doesn't actually fully form until you're 21, which is why that's a drinking age. So why not use that same logic for social media? Like, you're too young, and you can get influenced so much. And to be honest, I don't think that, like, people are very cautious about what they're putting out. For instance, on TikTok, I didn't know this, I just found this out. You have a pretty much, what is it? Basically, you can choose your audience. You can say that this is 18 and up, right? But because these freaking people out here who are like, oh, it's free, whatever, people do what they want, right? So they're like, I know I'm gonna get more views if I freaking let kids watch my content.
Exactly. And kids really shouldn't be. I mean, I've seen the craziest stuff. Like, I have some homegirls and homeboys that have, like, little kid siblings that have phones already. They're 8, 9, and they're on TikTok all day. They're doing TikTok dances, record. You should not, as a child, be putting videos of yourself out there. Just post it on the internet. Like, I know 8 through 12-year-olds that they just post. They have a TikTok. They followed me. I'm like, dude, you can't be following me on TikTok. It's not appropriate for me to follow you on TikTok. It's not appropriate for us to have any contact outside of when I see your family.
And that's a discussion that a lot of people, I think it's a discussion that a lot of people don't want to have, because they're afraid of losing a big chunk of their following, because of the sheer fact that they know morally it's wrong, but then their facade of their followers and likes is going to go away.
Exactly.
Because they're so reliant on the
younger
follower,
generation.
Yes.
Because when you're a child, you really latch onto things. Like, you have a superhero or a role model. Now we have social media heroes. What is that? People on social media are the worst people I can think of to be role models these days.
And well, the stars, because we're all on social media or whatever. And to just wrap it up, that's exactly what I'm saying. So now we have the perfect conditions, right? You have sideliners in the comment section. No one, the beauty of the comment section is no one gives a fuck who you are, and no one knows who the hell you are. So you just leave a comment, and it's a win-win situation. You get to be on your high and mighty horse and left a simp bomb in a comment section right off in the sunset, and now that's the thing, right? And you left with your social high horse, and now somebody else is reeling from that, right? And then now you're just led to a whole culmination. And now that's why I don't blame the generation or the offspring or anything up to where we are now. Now when somebody's super sensitive about something, I'm like, I get it. I get it. Because
people are doing a survey around the country on the way population handles themselves and speaks and deals with their